Hi, I'm Corey Braunel with Dusted Valley Vintners in Walla Walla, and thanks for coming on out today to see our place here in Old Milton Highway on the south side of Walla Walla. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our patio up here, and the tasting room is actually kind of uniquely positioned right here at my home on the south side. Walk up the stairs. So a lot of people, when they come to Dusted Valley for the first time, they go, "I understand why you wanted to move out here," and it's really to get the view of the Blue Mountains and look across the valley. And so anyway, we encourage you guys to come out here and enjoy a picnic on the patio with us this spring, and enjoy some of our Dusted Valley wines as we can pour our taste up here and enjoy and share those with you. Well, my brother-in-law Chad Johnson and myself had this dream, coming up on already 10 years ago, to get into the wine business. And in 2003 we moved out here from my wife and I moved from Wisconsin, and Chad and Janet, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, moved from Portland. And we kept our corporate day jobs and started the Dusted Valley brand in 2003 by basically purchasing 13 tons of fruit, and we had that in a dream, and that was about all we had. And had a real steep learning curve and learned quite quickly. But as a lot of famous winemakers in Washington have said about the quality of Washington fruit, it's kind of blind squirrel finds a nut. So we've been pretty fortunate in that regard. Let's see, 2009 would have been our 7th harvest.
And how much fruit did you crush for Dusted Valley label?
The Dusted Valley label in the 2009 season was right around 110 tons.
Okay.
Yeah, give or take. We had a little bit of freeze here this year that caused us to bring in a bunch of fruit at once. So we paused on that number because it's like, okay, what did we bring in? So yeah. About 2006, we saw that there was a huge need for a family-owned label that had premium juice that was at a real affordable price point, and something that was available nationally to really tell the Washington story. And we have several large producers in the state that have done a fantastic job of waving the flag for Washington nationally. But as a core group, I mean, there's 3 or 4 core brands that we're asking to do a huge amount of work. So when we started taking the Dusted Valley label out to the East Coast, people were like, "Yeah, we don't know what side of the Potomac you on." So there was this huge disconnect from Washington State versus Washington D.C. So we've thought, man, we are still very early in the game out here in getting the consumer awareness where it needs to be. So we looked at Boomtown as really an opportunity for our family to have an imprint on that kind of pioneering spirit of Washington and taking it to the folks. And so the label is the Seattle waterfront, because a lot of the consumers really kind of connect with Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. So we brought that to market in 2006, and today we do about somewhere in the realm of 12 to 15,000 cases per year. This year our target is about 15,000 cases. We do a Pinot Gris, an unoaked Chardonnay, as well as a Cab, Merlot, and Syrah, making it all come to fruition. I've got a business background, and my brother-in-law's got a food science background, Chad. And so basically, when it comes to winemaking, Chad and I work simultaneously hand in hand, making a lot of decisions stylistically. Chad's got a production background in food science, and so he does a lot of our sanitation protocol and that kind of stuff. The real necessary and important aspect of getting a wine from the vineyard to the bottle. And then stylistically, we kind of engage everybody that's involved with our company, right down to our viticultural managers and our assistant winemakers, our cellar staff. They're all involved in our blending trials because we really want them to be a part of the experience. We want them to own it just as much as we do. And quite honestly, having 4 palates at the table versus just 2 palates at the table is really pretty cool, because it brings out a lot of people's opinions that you wouldn't always I wouldn't experience myself, or Chad might not experience himself. So our appreciation for the Rhone goes back to these small, wonderful producers from the northern Rhone to the southern Rhone, and quite honestly, we wanted to really drink some worldly wines that were just considered the absolute upper echelon of wine production in the world, and kind of what you're going to mimic yourself after, what kind of style you want to be known for. And I mean, you want to benchmark yourself after some of the best in the world. And so we found ourselves drinking a lot of the Chateauneuf de Pape and a lot of Northern Rhone wines that we could get our hands on, small production, and And it really kind of also correlates really well with Washington State in terms of production size. I mean, most of those producers over there are producing very equivalent amounts to small wineries like ours in Washington State. And stylistically, we also think that our geography and our climate conditions are more reminiscent of that than other growing areas for Rhone varieties in the world. So, we do have a fair amount of acid, natural acid occurring in our wines, and that really is on par with a lot of the wines of the Rhone Valley. And stylistically, some of the things that they do there from a traditional perspective of the fermentation on the stems and native yeast and so on and so forth are things that Dusted Valley are really incorporating to bring out some of that uniqueness of terroir of it, and really go back to blending, right? Because blending is where we really get it right. It's where we set ourselves apart from the rest. A lot of our wines are blended to the nth degree. I mean, we really take time and in trying to make sure that we get that balance, that freshness, all of those characteristics that we experience in the wines. We try to get that right, and sometimes we hit it out of the park, and sometimes we don't. But that's really been our focus, is to understand that. Stylistically, you got to strive for something, and then you've got to stay true to it and try to make it happen year in, year out. And all of our wines stylistically too, one of the things that I hear often is that they're not all the same. We do 5 different Syrahs, and they're not all the same. So we do a lot of things that are very different from the other, and make them unique within our own portfolio.